Hello, I'm Phil Collinson. I'm the producer of Doctor Who.
Hello, I'm David Tennant. That's my plimsolls walking into the TARDIS.
Hello, I'm Russell T Davies. I'm the writer of this episode of Doctor Who. Hooray!
I like this little sequence. It feels like kind of here we are and we're back.
Yeah.
Do you know what you're doing when you're pressing every different button? Have you worked that out? Do you really though?
Yeah. Sometimes, of course, you have to adapt it because certain directors insist that they're shooting some way or for the sake of the shot. But I've got some ideas.
Well, and
then sometimes I do something because it looks good. But
and there we are on our Cardiff double of Rosie's estate. It's we can't always afford to go to London, so we have an estate up here that we film on.
Love you.
So they presumably between the Christmas invasion and now they've moved the TARDIS.
Yes, indeed.
Many off-screen adventures.
Well, there could be. Who knows what's happening?
I think to be written about for years to come.
You do sense that this comes fairly directly. You do sense they haven't really.
I think it's a nice little sense that almost that he lived there for a bit. You know, I like the Jackie and Mickey saying goodbye, and there's deliberately nothing Christmassy. Like we might, and he was still regenerating and
could be
getting over it. I
March
think
by now. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You never know. And I'm sure he saved the world. In
Yeah,
Cuba,
obviously.
And nipped off to France and did
course he
things
did.
and all sorts of adventures. Hooray! Look at your name.
Hooray! Huge big letters.
It's very exciting when I saw that for the first time, I must say.
When we planned this title sequence, but it was Russell's idea. He said the names have got to be so big, and they seem like
Superman.
the biggest stars in the world, and people really will think they are, and they do.
What are you suggesting? You have to
Fool.
As I was saying that, I thought David's going to pull me up about that.
Meanwhile, in the Gower. This is by Rossili on the Gower, which is the Gower Peninsula next to Swansea.
The single windiest day that Great Britain has ever known.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're so exposed up there as well, aren't you? Just right out.
It is the most beautiful location in the world.
It is
but
stunning.
It was windy.
It's funny, and I almost think to get the beauty of that location, you sort of need like a 35mm camera. It's actually hard to get the size of it and the scale of it, especially when you've got a great big science fiction city across the way.
It's the most beautiful place in Wales, I think.
I sat in the tone meeting for this going, I swear you'll have good weather, it's a microclimate.
Well, but to be fair, we were supposed to go there much earlier in the summer than we did.
Yes.
And because this came at the end of our first recording block, which had the huge Christmas invasion at the start of it, and everything had kind of slightly domino affected in from there on in, and we were chasing our tail.
What you're saying is it's Phil's fault, really.
It's pretty much Phil's fault.
I'm going to shrug my shoulders and say it's James Hawes, the director's fault.
And he's not here to defend himself, so let's settle on that.
Hooray. He's under my chair.
Hello, James.
He fits.
And we also had a terrible calamity this day.
Yes.
Something that I've never known happen in however many hours of television I produced. We lost about 5 shots because the camera didn't record them.
That's the whole scene.
Which is why when we first come out of the TARDIS, it's played in a 2-shot because we did have singles to cut in that disappeared, didn't they?
Yes, but right towards the end, when we get to the end, there's a scene with Chip outside the TARDIS. It's very beautiful and lovely, and is missed. We still all miss it, and although we can do pickups and we can film stuff, it's impossible to go to the Gower again. It was like half a day's travel just to get there.
Yeah.
And it was genuinely one of those camera fault things, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was camera was on, it was flashing to say it was recording, but it didn't record anything onto the tape.
That has happened to me on Bob and Rose, and we had to shoot the entire day again.
Oh, yeah.
Every shot
terrifying.
Ouch.
Oh, it's the dullest thing in the world.
We did redo these special effects shots of the hospital, and there's another building, that building you can see behind is new, and the lifts going up and down and the twinkly lights on it. Because originally, and we'd done it, we'd online it, we'd all locked off on it, and I think, and I think, David, you saw the version, didn't you? And you said to me, it's just, I wish that hospital was better. And we'd all said it. And then right at the last minute, we said, oh, come on, let's do those shots. Let's do some more work.
And that's where Phil Collinson's a marvellous producer. A lot of people would have said, tough, it's online, it's done.
Yeah.
And you didn't. You went back and you niggled.
Going the extra mile.
And we're now in the Millennium Centre. In Cardiff for what was a massive night. We had a lot to do in here. And in fact, there was a whole other sequence.
In this sequence, this is where the Duke of Manhattan and Frau Clovis were supposed to arrive.
Of course it was,
They teleported in, and he was having, not a heart attack, but a stone attack with his petrified aggression, and you saved his life. in 1 second flat.
Yeah.
And earned the enmity of the cat nurses immediately.
Sure.
Yes.
Because they were very put out.
Yes.
But by the
And
time
I
we came
missed
to
that.
film this, we knew we were up against it. So it was that scene was a version of that scene was put into the ward scene later.
Yes.
As we will see.
Because we knew this was a very big... We went to shoot at night time, didn't you?
Yeah, we had to shoot when it was closed, and we had to do quite a lot of design work to it. So we had gone in there, I think, about 3 in the afternoon, and then we turned up to film about 6 o'clock at night, something like that, till 5 a.m. It was a really big night for us. But great that they let us go there, because it's truly spectacular, I think, that foyer, and it really gives it a sense
I
of
love
size.
this bit. I love this bit. It makes
This
me
was
laugh.
a laugh.
It makes me hoot.
Oh, the old ones are the best.
And there's something daft though about, and I'm going to sound pretentious now, but there is about getting them wet and getting you in a wind and powdered. It means you're really there. You know, you're really physically there in that world, in a big science fiction world. It just sort of
Right.
grounds you and says the Doctor and Nurse really are there instead of swanning about like science fiction characters. That's my theory.
Hooray.
That is why I did it.
Very
It's like,
nice.
you need to, plus it's funny.
Really.
It was fun to do, actually. It really was.
I've seen the Doctor Who Confidential with you moaning.
I do not know.
You
Do
don't
I?
know. It's like, the water's getting colder and colder and colder with every take.
Yeah. There was that, because it was very warm the first time we did it. It was very comfortable.
And there is actually there's footage of you putting on a wet suit, which is terrible
Yeah,
to do. It's
that
like,
that isn't much fun.
This is the basement at Tredegar House.
Sean Gallagher as Chip.
Sean Gallagher's Chip there, yeah. And our big set build of the ward there.
beautiful.
Huge screen at the end so that we could put the view in. There's Adja. There's
With the
revealing herself to be a first class nurse.
pathetic cats, which are just stunning. I just think they're the
Yeah.
most brilliant thing.
I mean, you could get completely close up to them. You could be inches away from them and they still look perfect.
Yeah.
And you can stroke their little furry faces.
Yeah.
Could you? Because I
Yeah.
never.
Yeah.
They had proper furry
Yeah.
faces.
I
I used to love that, stroking the whiskers.
Yeah.
There's something really relaxing about that on an episode that was particularly stressful. You'd often find me
I
in a
don't know how
corner.
relaxing the girls inside the
in a
mask
corner.
found it, but
yeah,
as everyone trooped
stroking
up
a
to
cat
it-
nun's face.
Yeah.
You can't say that on every job.
You can.
A marvellous Michael Fitzgerald there.
That
who
was, that
had-
was a little bit of the scene that we lost from the
Yes.
from the foyer.
And that is Lucy Robinson with him as Frau Clovis, who I worked with many years ago on a soap opera called Revelations, where she was... I mean, in film, we're talking about this today.
Yes,
she was
we-
murdered by Judy Lowe as her mother-in-law, and it was camp over the top soap, and it was marvellous. Absolutely. And she was brilliant in it. She was absolutely brilliant.
She's great in this, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is.
Face of Boo.
Ace of Bow.
We just passed Sarah, our runner, in the bed there.
Yes,
I
we
think she
did.
got hauled in to make up the numbers that day.
Yes, I think the lady didn't
Lord.
turn in, did she? He was supposed
Really?
to be there.
Yeah.
And the old face of Bo dusted off, and
Yeah.
it's actually not the same face. It's a different mould. The same mould was used to create a new face, and this face has a few more animatronics in it, so his eyes move a bit
Which
more.
broke,
and,
of course,
and
one
they
day.
broke. Yes, I'm going to mention that, but they did.
Yeah.
And then the kind of mouth moves a little bit.
I
as
found
well.
out who broke it. I found out who broke the face of Bo.
Oh, there was a
Did like
person.
the face of Bo.
Yeah.
Go on, are you allowed to say it?
It was Billy Piper's
On-
boyfriend.
Oh!
He came in.
What did he do?
He came in and they were
was he
running
kissing
about. They were running about, and he got on the levers and had to go, and it all broke. Sorry, Amadou, I've just shocked you.
Amadou.